in 5 adult women lives with asthma, and with winter a high-risk period for many, a new national campaign has been launched showing the connection between women's asthma and hormones. Joining us this afternoon to discuss this important story is the CEO of Asthma Australia, Kate Miranda. Kate, thanks so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
I didn't know there was a link between hormones and asthma. Can you explain this?
Well, this is why we're launching the campaign, because not a lot of people are aware. So asthma is a chronic respiratory condition. It leads to airway inflammation, and hormones have a role in regulating airway inflammation. So hormones do influence inflammation, which can trigger asthma.
And why is it more prevalent in women? Has it got to do with female hormones?
It does. So oestrogen and progesterone. So we know that they have a role in regulating airway inflammation. And so women during their menstrual cycle or in the lead up to it can experience exacerbations in asthma. And in those key hormonal times, so puberty, pregnancy, perimenopause and menopause.
And so why is this information important? Does that then change the care? Because I know, as we mentioned earlier, you're launching a new awareness campaign.
A lot of people aren't aware of it, so they're not making the connection, and even GPs as well. So women can typically get an exacerbation during their menstrual cycle or in the lead up to it, or around puberty or pregnancy or perimenopause and menopause. And because they're unaware, they're just not making the connection between that and their asthma symptoms worsening. So we're trying to raise awareness of that so that women are empowered to go to their GP and have that conversation. We're having a national conversation about perimenopause and menopause at the moment, and we want asthma to be a part of that.
So if you do have that information, what would you advise people to say when they go and see their GP, especially if they're going through hormonal changes, whether that's menopause, peri, or also puberty for so many young Australians?
Yeah, so we want them to recognise it. So a lot of women always put work first, their children first, other people's health and other people's needs. So they can ignore it and think, oh, it's just my asthma, it's just playing up. I'll just, use my puffer. But we really want them to actually take it seriously, not to ignore the symptoms. Don't dismiss it as they're tired or stressed or getting older. We want them to be aware that there is a connection between hormones and your asthma worsening, and we really want people to visit their GP and have that conversation.
And we also need to take asthma seriously, Kate, because often we underestimate how serious it can be with, in some circumstances, life-threatening consequences.
That's right. And what's happening with asthma is that the biggest issue is that people treat it reactively. So they wait till they get symptoms and they treat that episode. And it's a chronic condition that does need to be managed every day. So people need to be taking anti-inflammatory relievers that actually reduce the inflammation and treat the underlying inflammation that causes asthma.
Prevention's always better than a cure. Kate, thanks so much for joining us. Such an important message.